The Cirque Sol 0734, 2097. Chapter 3, The Voice from the Black Box, continued. Plane 1, Mars Base, present, Command Center. Jimmy sat in the Habitat's command center, surrounded by steel walls that reflected the red diodes like pulsating pixels in the matrix of reality. Before him, a curved monitor floated, an ultra-thin OLED display with a minimalist metallic frame made of titanium alloy, mounted on a pneumatic arm that gave it the illusion of levitating above the console. The 8K screen rendered the Habitat's system interface with the precision of a surgical laser, and its surface emitted a bluish glow, casting spectral reflections on Jimmy's face. The gamma echo perception, integrated with his neurons, hummed in the background like network interference, mixing his thoughts with code fragments, needle schematics, and Miriam's eyes. A system message appeared on the monitor. New data, Safe 0734, video file, MP4 format, AES 256 encryption, status unlocked. Jimmy, controlling with a gesture on the touchscreen panel, initiated playback. The graphics processor rendered the data stream in real time, and the screen filled with a vertical selfie-style image, a video with a 9:16 aspect ratio, optimized for full-screen display on mobile devices, but now scaled to the Habitat's wide monitor. Monica appeared in the frame. Her face, sharp and expressive, occupied 80% of the screen. The video file's EXIF data indicated H.265 compression, a 15 Mbps bitrate, recorded in lighting with a color temperature of 5500 K, which highlighted her features. High cheekbones, short-cropped dark hair in an asymmetrical cut, and eyes, like two optical sensors, calibrated with laser precision, staring directly into the lens and therefore at Jimmy. The video's background revealed a fragment of a spaceship's interior. Metallic panels illuminated by cold blue LED light, likely 450 nanometers, with visible interface elements, perhaps a control console with holographic displays. The background noise, identified by a sound analysis algorithm as a combination of cooling fans and electromagnetic interference, suggested recording in a high-tech environment. Monica spoke, her voice, modulated with a frequency of 200, 300 hertz and a slight dynamic compression, sounding calm but with a hidden determination, like the source code of a well-designed algorithm. "Jimmy," she began, her lips twitching slightly, synchronizing with the sound with a delay of less than 10 minutes. "If you're watching this, it means everything went according to plan. You are not alone. I know everything about you. I know where you are. And now, I'm coming for you." At that moment, the video data stream corrupted. The image began to flicker, pixels breaking apart into green and pink artifacts, as in a damaged MPEG file. The error correction algorithm in the Habitat system tried to compensate for the loss, but bands of interference, high contrast lines in RGB colors, 0, 255, 0, and 255, 0, 255, flooded the screen. The sound devolved into a static crackle with an amplitude exceeding 0 dB, suggesting a transmission interruption or a deliberate file corruption. The video ended after 12.7 seconds, and the screen briefly turned black, displaying only the message. Error. Data stream interrupted. After 1.2 seconds, the monitor returned to the default interface, showing the needle schematics and fragments of the gamma echo perception code. Jimmy stared at the blank screen. His heart rate, monitored by sensors embedded in his chair, had risen to 92 beats per minute. Monica's words, "I'm coming for you," looped in his mind like a locked process in a while loop. He held 3 metal discs with the cross entwined with a spiral in his pocket, and Miriam's letter, "Do not even trust yourself," lay on the console like an analog artifact in a digital world. Gamma echo perception exploded in his head, splitting reality into 3 planes, like a corrupted rendering in a graphics engine. Cut. Plane 2. Sad corporate Federation, Earth, Western Federation, Retrospective. Transition. The SAD Corporation's conference room is a server farm of lies illuminated by sterile LED light, 6000K. The needle hologram renders in 3D above the table, its lines pulsating like code in a recursive loop. President Cordell, in a gray suit, looks like a firewall that blocks access to the truth. Jimi sits next to Miriam, her hand under the table squeezing his, transmitting an analog signal in a digital chaos. In the corner of the room stands Monica, her silhouette like a blocked background process, unseen but critical. "The needle is the arc of the new world," Cordell says, her voice a data stream with zero entropy. "Mars terraforming requires control. Gamma echo perception is a protocol that will allow us to reprogram minds. Jimi, you are Noah. Miriam is your witness. Monica..." Her eyes land on Monica, like a scanner detecting an anomaly. "Is our black box." Monica says nothing, but her gaze, like a laser ping, hits Jimi. Miriam writes something on a piece of paper, the same one Jimi found on Mars. "Find Monica," she whispers in his mind, her voice like a data packet sent via a secure connection. She has the black box. The image flickered, pixels breaking apart into green and pink artifacts, as in Monica's recording, and the room dissolved into a hum, as if someone had hacked the memory. Cut. Plane 3. Home, Earth, Miriam's memory. Transition. The house is an analog buffer in a digital chaos. Rain drums on the windows, and Miriam sits at a table, her fingers debugging the needle schematics like faulty code. On the table lies the disk with the cross entwined with a spiral, and next to it, a tablet on which she is recording a message. Jimi kneels next to her, feeling the warmth of her body as if it's the only stable bit in his memory. "Jim, if you lose me, find Monica," Miriam says, her voice a data stream with lossless compression. "She knows what SAD did. The black box is not just data, it's the truth. The disk is the key, but Monica is the guardian." Jimi wants to ask, but her eyes, like high-resolution sensors, plead for trust. "Remember me," she whispers, and the image blurs, pixels breaking apart into green and pink lines, as in Monica's corrupted video. Her voice becomes an echo that vibrates in Jimi's head, even on Mars. Cut. Plane 1. Mars base present. Return to command center. Transition. Jimi still sat in front of the monitor, his fingers clenched on the disks in his pocket. The screen had returned to the Habitat's interface, displaying the needle schematics and fragments of the gamma echo perception code that looked like biblical verses transcribed in Python. Monica's recording, 12.7 seconds of compressed MP4, looped in his mind, and the words, "I'm coming for you," sounded like an interrupt in the processor of his consciousnus. "Logos, what was that black box?" he asked, his voice trembling as if it were a corrupted signal. "Who is Monica?" "I don't have all the data, Jim," Logos replied, its voice like an algorithm with constraints. "But gamma echo perception renders more than I see. The black box could be a data set. It could be the truth. It could be a trap. Look for it." Jimi looked at the screen, where a hologram of Monica appeared. Not the recording, but a projection, her eyes gleaming like diodes. "Wait for me," she repeated, and her voice synchronized with his pulse. 3 disks in his pocket felt like keys to a locked partition, to the needle, to the arc, to the truth, or to a trap set by SAD. Gamma echo perception pulsed, mixing Mars, SAD, and home into one glitch in the reality matrix. Fade out.